Hello everyone, Vicki Achard here with Nature's Best Art. Thank you for joining me today. Today we're going to be making cards. And before we do that, I'd like to show you where I got my inspiration. Before, I have made cards with my watercolor panels and also my scraps from my watercolor paintings and my pressed floral art. And I thought it'd be kind of fun to show you where exactly I get my inspiration from. And behind me is my first picture that I want to show you. It's called Country Road, and we'll be taking a scrap of that I've had in my stash and making a card from that. So that was a lot of fun to paint. I just want to show you it matted. And then I also have going to be taking a scrap from this one here, and this is called Basket of Charm, made out of flowers. This is my pressed floral work, and it's a print. And so we offer prints in my pressed flowers and watercolor originals. Okay, and so now I took a little scrap out of my muffins that I painted, and these we made into cards. This is a 10-pack. And then I'm going to be using Delicate Primrose. Aren't those beautiful? That's a print. And here's a smaller one of the Basket of Charm. I'm showing you the ones that we have made up that Tom cut the mats for. And then I have a few others that I used today too that we're going to see. This is called State of Michigan Bird and Flower, Robin, and the apple blossom tree. Okay, that's an original watercolor. And let's see what else we're going to be making from. This is Up Close Cardinal in My Garden. And we matted this in a blue. Usually we mat them in white, my originals. But I think that one just looked really pretty, I thought, in the blue. And then one more I want to show you. We're going to be making a scrap out of Garden Bench. And we saw that in Stockbridge, Massachusetts, where Norman Rockwell lives, or he used to live. And so that was a watercolor original, and we're going to be making a scrap out of that. Now when I say scraps, I'm really a fussy artist, actually. I want everything to be just right. And sometimes I'll tell Tom, I think we really need to print this over. He's our printer. He's a wonderful printer. I honestly believe he's probably the best printer in the Midwest. Actually, he does marvelous work. And when I look at these scraps, I think, why did I tell him that I wanted a little bit different color? But like I say, I'm pretty particular. So, but I want to let you know that now in my watercolor papers that I use, these are 11 by 15. I do these watercolors, and we've been talking now for a few weeks about how I cut these in 4.5 by 6.5 pieces for my panels. And then so when I cut that from this, I get leftover pieces, and so that's what there's my birdie clock. I love to listen to the birds. I have one in here and one in my kitchen. Anyway, so what I am going to make the cards from today are my painting scraps, like I mentioned, and my pressed floral scraps, and also these watercolor scraps. Let's go to the table and get started. Okay, the first one I want to show you is my garden bench, and my scrap from my garden bench. And I was so excited today to be able to use this ribbon. It's called a piercing mat. And I want to show you this. It just didn't work out very well though, because if you can see, let's see if I can show you there. It didn't pierce very well, and you know, I just had a little trouble with it. So I'm going to give it another go another day. I was actually going to use this throughout all my cards today, but it took so much time. I don't know if you've ever had these. But what you do is you put something like this between, well, there's magnets, see, that's magnetic here, and you put it between the paper that you want to use this. You know, you put your ribbon, and then you're supposed to poke a hole in there in your paper, but I actually had to cut it with my X-Acto knife. You know, after I got done, and it left a little bit of kind of the paper cut, you can see not too well. And it's a thinking of you cards. I got done with my Easter cards, and there were still so many people that I wanted to send cards to, so I thought thinking of you cards would be real nice. So then here's my cupcakes that I painted, and my watercolor, and it's actually smaller than a panel. You know, it's the scrap, and it says thinking of you. Can you see that? Let's see. There we go. Thinking of you. And I thought it turned out real pretty with the buttons. And so use the baker's twine. So I thought that would be real pretty to send somebody. And then this design I didn't show you. This is one of my pressed floral designs. Actually, I cut it up. Here's the butterflies from it that I put on. And I want to make like a garden scene. But this design we don't use anymore. I thought that turned out really cute. And it says, just a note. You know, send somebody who's been by themselves for a while. You know how it's been with this virus we're experiencing. And this is from Country Road. And I always put another paper when I use my black bases so that I can write. But and then this is my watercolor scrap. So I really like that one. I love the color. Oh, and then okay, one more I have that I made up. I want to show you. It's called from my Delicate Primrose. And here's my watercolor. And it's almost a panel, but it didn't quite go all the way down. So, but I put a ribbon there, and thinking of you. I think this turned out really pretty. I used that embossing gold, and then I put a heart there. It's a button. And then I put a button also in the middle of that. So I thought that looked real pretty. This is from my scrap basket of charm. And this is my watercolor panel. It's actually, you know, a scrap from my cutting my panels. And I embossed this. It's thinking of you. And so we're going to be putting that together, okay? And so let's get started. I have to put the ATG gun. It likes to be kind of on an like down like this instead of up like that. And my bases, I use always white or cream or black or craft. I only like 4 choices. It just makes it easier. I think this is really pretty. I don't know if you can see it. It's like a really pale pink. And this is the one I had down underneath this, like that. And this I thought looked just pretty, just like this. I want that kind of in the middle. Alright, now this we're going to raise a little bit. And you know, I've been using these Scotch foam squares. So this is going to be a very simple but very pretty card. And I'm going to show you something that I do with my my buttons. This is one of my older buttons that I have in my stash, and I thought it would be really pretty on this here, on this Thinking of You. So what I do is I take my wire cutters, you know, because you can't really put this on the bottom. It won't do well if you leave that on. So what I do is I take my wire cutters and I just squeeze. Now I can put that on there. And you know, a lot of times it's nice to use that the heat gun, you know, the but what I use is I use the Zots, which are these. They really stick on things. You don't have to worry about anything coming off. I thought that would look real pretty on that. I like that. Do you? There we go. There's our card. And it's all made out of scraps and an old button. Actually, these 3 cards that we're going to put together, I'm actually going to put some color box, it's called, my lavender around this one. But you know what? We're going to do that later. So let's see what we got here. Got some baker's twine, and this was the scrap, the Michigan bird and the flower. And I took a little of that scrap there that we're going to use, and I made that bow there. That's been in my bow container for a while. I just make bows when I don't have anything else to do, and I thought this looked really pretty. This was embossed, says Thinking of You, and this is one of my watercolor scraps. So let's put this together. Let's see how this is going to look. Using my ATG gun. I want to let you know, give you a little tip. When you're using your ATG gun with papers, put your arrow so you know that this side is up. This piece of paper here, this beautiful design. Cardinal, or the robin that I made. Okay, so I took my X-Acto knife and I made a slit right on that fold there, the card. What I did is I put a little tape on my baker's twine to get it through there. Let's see, I want to do it one more time. Just want to tie it in like a little bow. And I'm going to take my scissors, which is my Tim Holtz scissors. It's great for cutting ribbon and baker's twine and papers. I love it. Let's put our sentiment on. I already have a lighter piece of paper in the middle, which I like to do on my black. So this, I think I'm going to put my foam squares on to bump this up a little bit. Let's put this in the middle there. Because that's pretty to see a lot of the blue from the baker's twine. I like that color. So we have a lot of the blue. So now I'm going to use my Zot and put that right on there. See how that you just put those on there just like that. Pull it up and put it right like I like the leaves going this way. I think I need some more on the bow. Now that I got this little flower on there. The flower, this is a cherry blossom or an apple blossom. All right, now let's see. What am I going to do? Oh, put another Zot on here. There, now it'll hold better. Okay. I love those colors, don't you? Aren't they beautiful? The purples and the blues. And let's see if I see a little. Now I see a little bit right there. So I'm going to just turn that around and cut that with my Tim Holtz scissors. There. That'll be good. That will be good. Okay. So we're done with that one. And this is up close cardinal in my garden. And so let's see what I decided to do on this. I have a beautiful scrap here from a panel that I did watercolor and did that ghosting. And so I'm going to put that down on the left side. Didn't put my arrow, but I'm remembering that there's a little something on the bottom here that'll be covered with that ribbon, and so that's why I didn't put my arrow in there, because I knew I was gonna do that this way. All right, and then this beautiful scrap here. I just can't believe that I wanted that to be a scrap. I don't know why. You know, it's been a while since Tom has printed it. We do all our printing in-house. And I wanted to show you how I put this ribbon on. Okay, so what I do is I use this Tombow Mono liquid glue. I mentioned this last week in my video when I made my Easter cards. I'll turn that over. You know, you put it on anywhere that you can. That part might not even need the glue right there. Alright, now we are going to put it on. Press it down. Glue all over your fingers, so you use these wipes that you can get at Costco. So that's going to take a little bit of time to dry. So we'll cut this. Tim Holtz scissors, or any good scissors you have. Any glue that you see, it'll be okay because it'll dry clear. I thought that was really pretty, like right there. Wouldn't that be pretty? So many beautiful things you can do, isn't there? Okay, now I need my Zots. One right in the middle. Push it around until you put it where you want it. Okay, now we're done with these 3 cards, and so what I want to do now is I want to put my stamp on the color around the card. See? Now this stamp pad is from Memento, and it's called Bamboo Leaves, and this is a dye ink. Dye inks dry faster than pigment inks. Just hold your card, see if you can see this. Okay, and then this is actually a facial sponge. And sometimes I have daubers. Okay, so that's that one. Now this one, I don't think we need to put any color around our card. I think it has plenty color, and because it's black. Oh, I just love this card too. I think it's just fine the way it is. Then our next one, this one. I think it needs a little color because it's white. So let's put some color box. This is a pigment ink. This is color box, and it's lavender. Just a little bit of color to complete the look. I think it just completes these cards. Now I want to show you something, which is this card here. The way I made this oval. You might be wondering how I made this oval shaped here. It's called Fiskars Ultra Shape Xpress. And it looks like this. Some of you might have this. And what it does is it makes these oval shapes. You can cut these oval shapes out. The templates have different size ovals, okay, which is real nice. You can make small or large. And then, you know, they have squares and also circles. So I'm going to be using the oval shape because that's what I cut out. I just want to show you how I did it. And I have a piece of paper and my cutter. And then what you need to do is you need to make sure that the Fiskars name is on the top, and you can feel it. If this is the bottom, so it's smoother. Okay, so make sure it's on the top, and then you put it down on your paper. And this is what I work on. This is called a healing mat. It's by Elvin. This black is called a healing mat, and this is a very sharp blade. Push down. You hold it here. You push this down. You push it along your healing mat to get your blade where it belongs. Okay. Put it on your oval shape, and you push down, and then you simply go along. And I like to go along twice just to make sure it's cut. And there it is. Or if you had a design on here, you could use this part. Like I showed you, this one too I cut. Eventually I'll put a design on here and use this. Or you can put this right on your, panel card, on your base. Put a design on here. Really a nice tool. I really enjoy using that. Round shapes, and I have square, and you don't have to worry about that cutting because it won't ever go through. And this is about $35, I think it was, from Alvin, Alvin. It's a GBM 1824. Down below I put where you can buy things, so I will put that for you. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that, and this was a lot of fun, and I hope you'll try some of these ideas and tips. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope you had a good time. I always enjoy talking with you and showing you lots of good things, lots of happy thoughts, thinking of you all the time. I appreciate you all. Until next time, happy creating.